Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors, your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. I'm glad you're here this morning. We've got a great show lined up, but first, let's get our weather brought to us by Haney Technical Center at the corner of Baldwin and Highway 77. We have a situation here where the weather is just we're in a little area where this just unsettled weather. It's coming and going. We'll get some rain, then get some little bit of clearness, but it's just been a tough week as far as getting outdoor activities done. So just hang in there. This weekend looking good, and we're hoping we're going to have some good times on the water and in the woods this weekend. Water temperature is at 68 degrees. It's been that way for 2 weeks now. The air temperature is 72 high and a low of 57. It'll be a little bit cooler now, about 5 degrees cooler than last night. River readings, Apalachicola, Bluntstown, taking a look at that, it is really, the Bluntstown, it's steady and it's reading this morning at a 14.2. And it's a lot of ways level off now. It's going to be pretty level for the weekend. The Choctawhatchee at Caryville, it's in pretty good shape too. It's lowered, and it's going to be in good shape this weekend at 10.2. All right, so both rivers in good shape as far, but they're both high now. When I say good shape, I mean they're not moving fast and not a lot of action as far as a lot of fast, swift water. But it's going to be high. The water's going to be high. Tide brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn Funeral Home and Cemetery. Again, a good week of tides. Today is Thursday, April 14th. Good, strong tides. You got a strong incoming tide this morning. Low was this morning at 2:35. It's going to be coming in strong all the way until this afternoon about 4:05. Really good incoming tide. You get some breaking out weather. It'll be a great time to go do some inshore fishing. Marine forecast be coming out of east at about 10 to 15. We got on the phone now. We're calling Sea Quarters Marina. And we have Monty on the phone. Monty, originally from Ohio, been here a little while, and he's got the morning shift this morning. Good morning, Monty.
Good morning, sir.
Hey, listen, welcome to the show.
I appreciate it. I'm glad to be on.
Okay, we're going to try to get things started here. Tell us, I know grouper season open down there. What's going on with the grouper?
The grouper are there, but the seas have been hot, so you got to be pretty brave to go out and get them.
It's been windy all over the Panhandle, and I thought about you guys the other day one afternoon, and I said, I hope it's not blowing that hard down there, but I guess it has been.
Yeah, the seas have been 6 to 7 pretty much every day for the last 2 weeks.
Wow. Well, I guess that people be like us now. They'll just start looking at some inshore fishing. What's going on inshore?
The trout have been hitting everything. Shrimp, calamari.
Okay, it's been good fishing on the trout? Okay. Okay, I must be losing them. Okay, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. I talked to him before I came on the air. Are you still there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so tell us about the trout and redfish.
Pardon me?
Tell us about the trout and redfish.
Oh, the trout and redfish have been hitting real good on shrimp and squid.
Okay, are they getting them out behind Dog Island or about where?
Oh, yeah, they're hitting out around the Dog Island in the bay. They're hitting pretty much in the river, and they're hitting there.
Okay. Oh, well, that's a good report, Monty. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Talk to you later.
Okay. All right. I got to get him a classroom voice sometimes. I talk louder than necessary, but we want to make sure we get a good report down there. And it's a situation the same way all through the Panhandle. A lot of us want to go fish a little bit offshore, especially where you got the grouper season open down there, but it's just too windy. It's not fun when it's 5 and 6 foot seas, and it's also not safe if a lot of us go out there and the boats are not quite big enough in the quest of getting that big grouper and all. So anyway, that's the story. But always fall back on the inshore fishing and get behind some islands or up in some bayous and up in some mouths of creeks and all, and do good. So that's the beauty of being in this area. Let's take a break and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back. The other day I showed a little video on inventions. I like to get the young people thinking, about, inventions, and most of them will never invent anything, but at the same time, it sort of stirs their creativity and gets their juices flowing and sort of challenging too. But all my life, I've liked to think of myself personally. I guess it comes from just me trying to think up things and figure out things and all. And I've never had a patent file, but I want to share this with you because this is almost funny to me. I've had all kinds of inventions in my head my whole life, from coaching gadgets when I was used to coach real heavy, and also The one I want to tell you about though was when I had my first Jeep. It was a hardtop, and hardtops had just come out on CJ7. This is a long time ago. And of course, I loved the hardtop in the winter when I was hunting and all in February and all, but about March kicked in. I want to take the hardtop off. So, and then it got rainy, I put it back on. So it's a hardtop. It's hard to take off a Jeep, pick it up. It's hard for one person. And when Chip was around, he would help me, and it would just take it off. And then I got to where I'd back up by the picnic table and sort of slide it off on the picnic table. That was good, except when we wanted to go out on Sunday afternoon and have a little picnic in the backyard, and the hardtop was in the way. So anyway, I told Gail one day, I got to think about it. I said, you know what? I said, I could make something to take this off in the garage. You could take, I'm going to use my phone to say this is hardtop. I explained it to her. I said, you could take like 4 ropes, two rope on each side of the hardtop, and put a little hook on it and hook up under it. And I could get a pulley and put a pulley at the top of the garage and run the rope through it, and then run the rope all the way through the corner of the garage or the back wall of the garage, and run it down, and have the hand crank, the winch like on a boat trailer, just buy one of those winches, and I could lift it off my Jeep and drive out. I said, I would invent something like that. And she, of course, laughed at me, but she always has, but she's always encouraging. She said, well, go ahead and do it. I said, there not that many people have Jeep hardtops. It'd be a lot of hassle, and nobody would want one other than me. And that was a true conversation we had. Well, folks, I've got another Jeep again, and I started looking at some Jeep stuff, and I got a catalog the other day and looking at some Jeep stuff to spend money on. And I want you to look what one of the first things to turn to in that catalog. Check this out. That's exactly what I had talked about many years ago. That's exactly what I talked about. And they're selling these things. You see the rope on it? It goes up. See the pulley? And down there, I don't see their hand crank, but I know there's got to be a crank somewhere. This is not my Jeep. This is what's in the catalog. And that's what they're selling them for, $175. Just think, I would have made all that money off that Jeep hardtop. So anyway, when you invent something, don't be afraid to go ahead and try it out and get a patent on it. But I'll always laugh at that situation there because anyway, I'm going to still make my own. I'm not going to buy one. I'm going to still make one that I originally had, which is the same like that. So anyway, just want to share that with you on inventions. Okay? And I got other inventions too all along. Every now and then I'm going to do like I do the Panhandle Heritage, throw out an outdoor invention at you. Also, we had another drowning in the state of Florida, a couple of drownings the other day on 3, including a 9-year-old boy drowned off of Stewart, Florida. And it was just heartbreaking. And about 2 weeks ago, I remember we had the accident over here in Destin with boating safety. So is Pearman. I've showed this book to you many times and all, but it is so important that we know what's going on. I was reading the details on that situation down in Stewart, and I know that area well. Chip lived there for a while, and I would go down to visit he and Jill, and we would have the best time down there. It's a boating community. It's sort of a high-dollar community. You don't see a lot of small boats there, but it's really a good fishing area, and I got to meet some of the people down there. What had happened in that situation, those folks went out. It was 3 grown men and a 9-year-old boy, and they went out to go fishing on Sunday morning, and somehow the boat got turned around, and the waves were bigger than they had anticipated. The weather report had called for like 3 to 4 foot seas, and they got out there, and they had a couple of 6-foot waves. The boat turned around, and the water washed over the stern. And we've been in that situation so many times where you get out there, especially getting off, like I just talked to Carabel, especially getting off the coast of Carabel or somewhere, and they call them 3 to 4 seas, and it's 6 to 7. And we always use that term, you just double what the number they call for. And that was a situation there. Somehow, and the boat started sinking. So the little boy had his life jacket on. I'm not sure how he drowned. It's heartbreaking. But one guy did survive, and they're getting more details from him. But they held on for for as long as they could and all. But the situation is always be aware. Those waves a lot of times are going to be bigger, and if you lose power and that boat turns around, then it don't take but one big wave to swamp that boat. So just be aware of that. And I'm going to talk about later, where when you're trying to save someone's life, the first thing you do is reach. The second, if you can't reach them, then the second thing you find something to throw at them so they can get on it and float. And then the third thing, and I used to teach a lot of life saving, row. The old days you row out there, but right now you jump on a kayak, anything to float, and go out there and try to get them. And the last thing you do is go. And over the years, when I was teaching back in the 70s on water safety instructor, they told us to go. Well, that meant to us is go out there and try to rescue them. Well, most people now, they've changed it to go get help. So there's a lot of difference in going out there and trying to save somebody, going to get help. And what has happened, so many people have drowned trying to save a swimmer that are drowning because they're in a panic stage, a panic mode, and when you're going to swim out there to them, first thing they do is grab on top of you and sink you. And so many people have drowned trying to rescue people, especially out in the Gulf when you got waves coming in and you're trying to grab that body and pull them in. And it's a mess. So over the years at Red Cross, and they've changed their method of telling people go get help. The last thing you want to do is go out there unless you're really strong, certified water safety instructor and a lifeguard. So don't go out there to panic one. So best thing, just reach out. But anyway, we'll talk more about that, but best thing to do is have that life jacket on when you're in a boat. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Glad you're with us this morning. Remember, tomorrow will be the famous Friday fishing forecast. We'll be giving away some Tarpon Dock seafood, and plus we'll have a special guest on tomorrow. So good show lined up for tomorrow. But let's get through today. And we passed hump day. This week's almost over. Let's see, just a couple of pictures, midweek pictures. A lot of times, people are getting off in the afternoon and midweek, and you want to see some nice bass. Check this out. These two boys, both of these boys named Connor. This is Connor McLean here. Okay, what a healthy bass. And that's his buddy Connor Shaw. And that's two different bass, and they're both those boys love to fish. They're about mid-20s now, and they really enjoy fishing. Also it caught some brim. That's Torrey Pippin. Check out, shell cracker. All right, that's crappie. Okay, speck of perch. All right, here we go. So we got those, but the big news in the outdoors, Wednesday afternoon. Check this out, 87-pounder. 87-pounder, and that's the biggest one brought in, and I was really tickled to see that. It's called here in Panama City. Austin Plummer, Matt Schiffer, Robinette, Michael Lincoln. That was Wednesday afternoon, and that's a nice scope. That's the biggest one that I know of this year, so that's a good job. The big cobias are few and far between, and they got that one, so good job, boys. Now let's jump into turkey hunting. We'll talk about that. I had a video on yesterday, and hopefully y'all got to see it, but we didn't get to see that big old gobbler, but he gobbled a good bit. We just didn't get close to him. But anyway, a lot of folks like to go out turkey hunting and get different species. I'm going to show you different species, especially these real avid turkey hunters. Once they sort of master it and all, they want to go. And remember, I showed you the top 10 things to do. One of them was Osceola, get an Osceola turkey. Well, I'm going to show you the different species here in America that basically it's just these top 3 here on the North American wild turkey. The one on the upper left is the Osceola, okay? And then on the right is the Rio Grande. Those are 2 up top. And in the middle is the Gould. Bottom left is a Merriam, and bottom right is the Eastern, and that's the one that we get. And I don't know the difference in the actual body structure, but I want to show you where they're found in the United States. Blue, that's the Eastern, that's the one we get, and you see our Panhandle area, the Eastern turkey there. And the yellow now is the Osceola, down below Gainesville, basically. You can go in that area, and that's a big part of the state, though. Then the green is a Rio, what they call a Rio turkey. Red is a Merriam, that's up there in those four corners area, and mainly in Colorado, and then above Texas, also, well, not quite getting to Texas. And then going down to Mexico, you get on the Gould and a couple other. But anyway, basically those 3 or 4 up there in America will be right there. So just want you to be aware of that. Okay, quickly, let's go into bass fishing. I got fascinated looking at those big bass last night, and they have so many bass tournaments. I just want to show you. You don't have to read all these. I want to show you. This is this month's bass tournaments. Now, if you want to go fishing in a bass tournament, you can go. Now, you don't have to read. I'm not going to read them to you and all. I just want to show you. This is April 2nd through April 30th. I mean, look at all of them. I get a kick now out of some of these names. They name them like the names of some of these clubs. April 16th, the Real Money Team Trail, the West Side Team Trail, Lunkers, of course, Miracle Strip. Somebody's been around a good while. Two River Bass Club, Black Creek, just Crestview High Bass Tournament. So anyway, a lot of stuff going on, and I don't have time to announce all. I do want to announce this because this is always special because this money goes to good cause here. Project Graduation. That's going to be White City on May 7th. $2,500 first place. 80% payback, and that's sponsored by Blue Water Outriggers, who's always helping out, and Fisherman's Choice Bait and Tackle down that. And that's going to be the Franklin County project graduation. So that's going toward a good cause right there. So be aware of that. And I was checking also. Once I started checking on something, I just started digging up, and I had a Jack Wingate open, which is up in Lake Seminole. They named it after the legendary Jack Wingate, who had the Seminole Landing up there forever. In fact, I did an interview with him on the show before he passed away, not too long ago at a ripe old age, I think of 86. Jack was one of those guys that actually got to walk around the area before they put the dam up at Lake Seminole. That was his family homestead area, and he knew, everybody in the area knew that Lake Seminole would flood all those waters of the Flint River, and they lived down on the Flint River right in South Georgia. And he was able to walk along and get all kind of Indian artifacts and save them before the dam was built and the river went up. So what a time to be around. But they do a tournament once a year. Now also I'm going to do a story on him about how BASS started when Ray Scott made one phone call to have that big tournament at Lake Seminole. That's the beginning of the BASS. We're right there at Lake Seminole. But anyway, Jack, they do a tournament in his honor. And usually to win a tournament with a 5-fish limit, you're talking about, a good tournament is 20 pounds. Well, what won that one in March, folks, was a 30-pound stringer. A 30 pounds won that tournament at the Lake Seminole at Jack Wingate Open. I thought that was some healthy bass. That's 5 fish. That's averaging 6 pounds of bass. That's a good morning. All right, let's take a break. We'll be right back. All right, welcome back. Let's look at our fishing game times for today, brought to us by Mark Coward of Counts Realty. We're looking at 7:12 to 9:12 this morning, and we're talking about that high tide. That tide's moving really strong today. That's going to correspond with that, with the waters coming in to the base systems here. And also 7:37 to 9:37 tonight. A lot of times you find some close things like that, and it means a lot. Now, I always like to stay positive in my life and everything. I always look for positive things to relate to my students and my viewers. I found these 10 positive fishing quotes, and I just got a kick out of them because it's so true. So I'm going to go through this list of 10. I always do top 10 this and top 10 that. So let's take a look at this first one here. Okay, different pictures of different people. The picture's not that important, but the saying is. I'm going to read them to you, and think about these. Some of these really good. The charm of fishing is that it is the pursuit of what is elusive but attainable, a perpetual series of occasions for hope. And you stop and think about that. Every cast you make, you think you're going to catch something, but you don't. But you think next cast you will, and one last cast, and that I thought that was good. All right, number two, I've known this one for a long time. Henry David Thoreau. Many men go fishing all of their lives without knowing that it is not fish they are after, and that is again so true. And that goes back to the 1800s and men just going out, and women, of course, it's just like mankind, and going out just to get outdoors and enjoy it. And that was, generation after generation, we see that. All right? Next one. There are only 2 occasions when Americans respect privacy, especially in presidents. Those are prayer and fishing. And a lot of the presidents, especially Roosevelt, was a big fisherman. They loved the outdoors. All right? The next one. All the romance of trout fishing exists in the mind of the angler, and is no way shared by the fish. And that is true. The fish don't see the romance in it and the challenge that we as fishermen do. I thought that was funny. All right, number 5. Fishing keeps us humble, which makes us better people. Infrequent success reminds us that we have much to learn from those less intelligent than ourselves. That is true, and it is a humbling experience to go out and feel like you're going to catch a lot of stuff, and you don't. You just sort of humble and just hope it's going to be a better day. So that's a good one there. Okay, let's go to number 6. Somebody just back of you while you're fishing is as bad as someone looking over your shoulder while you write a letter to your girl. Ernest Hemingway. And stop and think about that. I'm the same way. I don't like to be crowded in, and I stay away from some places. Years ago, I'd fish off the pier a lot. Then it got so crowded. I used to fish off the jetties a lot, and then on weekends, I just quit doing that because it's just crowded. And then you go out, and we talk about the Spanish mackerel fishing and all. I like open spaces, and And I don't like to, and then the same way with freshwater fishing, you're up there going on a bed or something, and then somebody comes up close to you. It's just uncomfortable. And Ernest Hemingway, who was a big outdoorsman, he felt the same way about it. I know a lot of y'all feel the same way. Okay, let's go to the next one. Number 7, if people concentrated on the really important things in life, there'd be a shortage of fishing poles. And that's a good one, okay? Doug Larson quoted that. And if the people, in a way, I'm glad everybody done it, because we wouldn't have anywhere to fish, because they just missed the boat, literally. Number 8, this is Ann Landers, all right? Bragging may not bring happiness, but no man having caught a large fish goes home through an alley. so many times, any kind of successful outdoor trip, it could be a big buck or a big fish, or something, big whatever, and you want to let people see it. I know back in my hometown of Quincy, there was one little place, it was called Chandler's, before McDonald's even. It was a little Chandler's hamburger place, and the biggest thing then, if you got a deer or a big fish, you rode around that right there dark, you rode around the block 3 or 4 times around Chandler's, and people just, of course, would be gathering up there to hang out. Okay, we got to quickly get on through. Number 9, calling fishing a hobby is like calling brain surgery a job. Okay, I was taking it serious. And then the last one, this is good. 3/4 of the Earth's surface is water, and 1/4 is land. It is quite clear that the good Lord intended us to spend triple the amount of time fishing as taking care of the lawn. And I laugh about that often, because it's hard if you see someone's really beautiful yard or something. Of course, nowadays people pay for it, but back in the day, if their yard was beautiful and immaculate, usually they weren't that good of an outdoorsman. You see an outdoorsman and that would take care of the yard, that would be really something unusual. So anyway, there's a lot to be said about those really good quotes, and all of them have some spectrum of truth in it. All right, we'll wrap things up for today. We've got a big show tomorrow. Like I say, we're going to be giving some stuff away, the $20 gift certificate and the red snapper. So be sure and join us. And today, now, while you're out and about, do something good for your fellow man and get ready to enjoy the big weekend activities. And you have a great day, and God bless.
Thanks for joining us for Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester. Panhandle Outdoors features hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.